I assume that you already know how to teach yoga, but you want to know how to teach yoga online. Well, I've discovered the best strategy that'll not only help you to teach more effectively online, but it will serve as an online marketing tool as well. People all around the world that want to learn yoga, this strategy will automatically pull them in and help them find you. And so that's what I'm going to teach in this episode. So first we're going to lay the foundation of the strategy and the best way to be an online yoga instructor. We're going to talk about videos and the best way to start each episode. Then I'll share with you a strategy of how you can keep people's attention the entire time. I'll talk to you about how you can prepare a lot more quickly or a lot more efficiently. And then I'm going to share with you my strategy of how you can get more people to find your videos so that you get lots and lots of views. I make hundreds of educational videos every month on YouTube. This is my expertise, and I help lots of other educators do the same. In fact, many of them are doing extremely well financially. Several of them are making six figures every month, and we follow this exact strategy. So here's an overview of how this strategy works. Right now, all around the world, there are people going online to Google and YouTube asking questions about yoga. They want to learn yoga. Wouldn't it be amazing if all of these people were to find you? Well, that's what this strategy does. We use a simple tool that does the work for us to find the questions that people are asking about yoga online. Ideally, we pick the longer phrases, like the ones that have 8 or more words. So when somebody goes to Google or YouTube and they type in that question, your video pops up on top and they click on it because it's exactly what they searched for. And because that's what they want to learn, they're obviously going to watch your video all the way to the end. Now, the YouTube algorithm sees that and says, wow, this video is really impressive. People watch it all the way to the end. Let's promote this video to more people that are learning yoga. So you start to get more and more views. Now, that's the tactical side of it, but think about it from the student perspective, okay? They wanted to learn. They went to Google or YouTube and they typed this in and they found you. Well, over the course of this video, they had a great experience with you. If you're looking into the lens, they make eye contact with you. They start to build this relationship of trust with you and they really admire you. They're probably going to come back for another episode, and then when they learn that you've got online training or courses or other ways that they can work with you to learn yoga, that's when they take action and hire you. Take a look at this. It's called the Keyword Magic Tool. We're on the website semrush.com. There's a lot of tools here. I don't use any of them except for this tool. And if I come in here, let's type in yoga pose. I've never done this search before. I'm going to come over here. I always turn on questions because I only want to see the questions. And I want long questions. So I'm going to come over here to the advanced filter called word count. I'm going to turn it up to 8. So there's a minimum of 8 words in these phrases. And let's just see. So how long should you hold a yoga pose? That could be a great title of an episode. What yoga poses to avoid lower back pain? That's pretty specific. How to master the crow pose in yoga. What are the basic yoga poses for beginners? So right off the bat, we've already got some great ideas for some episodes, and I want to talk about this number over here. You see that this is volume. This is the average monthly search volume, and you see a phrase like this, and it's only got 40 searches per month. Is that a lot? Is that a little? Well, I'd say, yeah, that's kind of a little, but that's what we want, and here's why. The bigger that number typically means the higher the competition there is for that phrase. But if you start with phrases that have volume between 10 and 100, then when you post that video to YouTube, it's likely that your video will rank number 1 instantly. And here's why you want that to happen. When somebody goes to Google or YouTube and they type in this question, what are the basic yoga poses for beginners? Your video pops up, it's got that exact title, and they think, wow, that's exactly what I searched for. So they click on it, they watch it all the way to the end because they want to learn this stuff. The YouTube algorithm sees that and says, wow, this is a high-performing video. Let's suggest this video to more and more people. So all you need is a trickle of traffic in the beginning. You're laying a foundation of search, and then YouTube starts to promote your video for you. Now, just to give you another example, I typed in poses I'm just curious, if I get rid of the word pose, what comes up? What questions are people asking? What is the difference between yoga and Pilates? How many calories do you burn in hot yoga? How yoga changed my body before and after. Okay. What is the best time to do yoga? So there's all different types of questions. And I had another thought. Let me go back to poses. You can add in whatever words that describe what you want to teach. I imagine that some yoga poses have very specific names, and maybe the phrases aren't going to be 8 words long. So if you go back to that advanced filter, maybe lower it down to 6. The only yoga pose I know happens to be like downward dog. So how to do downward dog in yoga, I mean, that would be 7 words long. So I just figured that 8 words might eliminate some of those very specific things. It's specific because it's a name for a specific pose, but you can adjust those filters and see what else you can find there. The goal is you still want it to be really, really specific. If it's a video that you think, you know what, that's going to be a 30-minute episode, I would see, can you add another word or two to the title to narrow it down and perhaps make 2 or 3 episodes out of that same content. Now hold on just a minute. I just noticed that you haven't subscribed yet. So there's a red button. Go ahead and click that red button and subscribe to this channel. And then right next to it, there's a bell. Click that button as well. That turns on alerts so that each time I upload a new episode, you'll get an email from YouTube and you won't miss a thing. Once I have the titles selected, the list of videos that I want to film, and I'm ready to prepare the content, I use the same outline every time. This is what the outline looks like. I've got my title. I can make notes about my intro if there's anything I want to say specifically in the intro. I remind myself to give content hooks. Then I have several bullet points where I can just put the talking points of things that I want to talk about throughout the video. What I want to talk about first, second, third. I might end with a story. And then I always have a very specific call to action, whether I'm recommending the video that they should watch next or the lead magnet, the free gift that they can get by clicking the link below. Now, we already talked about your titles. Remember, this is probably an 8 or a 9 word phrase. That's what your title is. In your intro, you're basically reading the title to them and then telling them why it's important. So, hey, in this video, we're going to talk about this long sentence. I've been doing this for years, or this is really going to change your life, right? So something profound, something that's a why of why they need to watch this 10-minute episode. We're going to talk about the content hooks in a minute because we need to have the content prepared first. One way that you can think about it is in time. Like, I'm going to spend a minute here, then I'm going to spend a minute here. I'm going to share a story, maybe that's 2 minutes. I've got another minute here, and I've got another minute here. You'll know the time as you go along. Now, when you prepare it this way, you don't want to memorize it and on filming day try and remember all bullet points, because guess what? You can pause. I'm pausing a whole bunch while recording this video, but I know that my editors will just edit out those pauses. And what I have all my clients do is they do point number 1. They look at their notes, then they come and they look into the camera and they deliver point number 1. They might talk for 1 minute, 90 seconds, maybe 2 minutes, and then they finish point number 1. Then they come back, they look at their notes. Oh yeah, that's what I was going to talk about next. Then they come back to the camera and they deliver point number 2. They're not thinking about what point number 3 is. In fact, we want them to intentionally pause after they're done talking about point number 2. They come back to their notes, they look at point number 3 and they think, oh yeah, that's what I was going to talk about next. They look at the lens of the camera and they deliver point 3. This is the best way to prepare your content because, 1, it's simple. You're not writing out a lengthy script that might take you a couple of hours to prepare for one video. Now you can just bullet point the talking points in maybe 5 minutes, maybe 10 minutes, and that episode is prepared. And you can take the burden off your shoulders of having to memorize all this content because you've just got memory joggers. I'm going to talk about this first, then I'm going to talk about this second. And you're going to pause between each one. So how do you start an episode? Every episode should have 2 things: what the video's about and why people should watch. So one of the titles I found is How to Build Strength for Yoga Arm Balances. So let's say I were the yoga instructor and I were going to start this video. I would say, hey, welcome back. In this episode, I'm going to teach you how to build strength for yoga, specifically arm balances. There are a lot of poses that require strength or balance, and some of them just need a little practice. So in this episode, I'm going to teach you what you can do. Okay, so if it showed there, I really don't know much about yoga, but hopefully you got an idea of how you should start your video, what it's about, and back it up with why. After you've done your intro and the little opener has played, your little branding piece that's 6 or 8 seconds long, then comes the content. And you want to start out your content with content hooks. So I want to demonstrate how not to do it and then a better way to do it. So on the outline here, I'm going to just demonstrate with this title, How to Get Rid of Strep Throat Without Antibiotics. Now, Doreen Spackman, she's the expert on this topic. She taught it to me. I've used the remedy many times, so I'm going to pretend that that's my expertise, okay? And here's my outline. You notice I've got 3 words or 1 word or 2 words, okay? Very simple outline. I've got 6 different points that I'm going to cover in the video. First, let me demonstrate how not to do the content hooks. All right, as we dive into this topic of how to get rid of strep throat without antibiotics, really you just need 3 ingredients. If you go grab some garlic, some cayenne pepper, and some raw honey, and you mix that together, you take that, it will wipe out your strep throat. I just gave away the whole episode, right? Why are people going to need to watch longer? Or maybe they don't believe me. Maybe they think, oh, that sounds too good to be true. Let me go find a better video. Or maybe they do believe me and they go leave to see if they have those ingredients in their kitchen. Who knows, but they're certainly not going to stick around for the full episode. So here is a second attempt, and I'm going to set some content hooks that create curiosity. All right, as we dive into this topic of how to get rid of strep throat without antibiotics, first, we're going to talk about why not antibiotics. And there's some good reasons why you might want to consider an alternative. Then there are 3 ingredients. We're going to talk about each one and how each one is a natural antibacterial and a natural antiviral. It's amazing stuff. Then we're going to go to the kitchen. I'm going to show you how to prepare this and how to take it, dosage and whatnot. And then I'm going to wrap up with a story. My son, when he was really young, he had a high fever, he had strep throat, and we used this remedy. He also experienced a side effect that you're going to want to know about because you're probably going to experience this side effect as well. All right, let's dive in. Do you see what I did there? Do you see the difference in the first example and the second one? Hopefully you see how the second one really would create a lot of curiosity and didn't give away the secrets. The whole goal is to create curiosity and help them think, wow, this is an amazing video. I'm excited to spend the next 10 or 12 minutes watching this episode. Now let's talk about the end of the video. You want to have a call to action if you want your channel to be profitable, right? If you want to make revenue or you want to have customers or clients, you need to ask them to do something. But it's actually easier than you might think. You don't have to sell them anything at this video, which would kind of be weird when it's an educational video, right? You're giving away information for free, and then at the end you're trying to sell them something. Nope, we don't have to worry about that. Give them a free gift. Okay, so you might say something like this. Hey, now that you've learned how to do A, B, and C, I want to give you a free copy of my book. I go way more in depth on this topic, and if you click the link below and you just cover the shipping costs, I'll send you the book for free. That type of a call to action or that type of a lead magnet, the gift that you give away is called a lead magnet because it attracts leads. That can be really effective because in order for them to pay the shipping costs, they need to give you their name, their phone number, their address, their email, and they're paying a few dollars so you know that they're committed. So it's a high quality lead and you get a lot more of their contact information. As a heads up, the lead magnet that I'm going to give away to you for watching this episode is my Influencer Almanac. It's a digital piece that has a lot of valuable information in there, but there's no cost at all. You just get it for free because I don't have to ship it out to you. I can just email you the link. Another thing that I want to talk about call to action is engagement. You can ask people to do things like, hey, remember to subscribe. Did you notice how I asked you to subscribe earlier in the episode? I was over there sitting on the stairs. Most people wait to the end of the video and their call to action is that. But what that does is it tells people to leave. It says, you know what? I'm all done. You can be all done with YouTube. See you later. See you tomorrow. You actually don't want to give any signals like that. So at the end of your videos, you either have a call to action to a lead magnet where if they are going to leave, they're going to your website, or you have a call to action that leads them to the next video that you recommend that they watch. So you might say something like this. Hey, now that you've learned A, B, and C in this video, if you want to learn X, Y, and Z, go watch this video next. You can point to it, you can tell them the title of the video, but that way they're not ending their YouTube session, they're actually continuing and going and watching another video that you recommend to them. I typically will recommend that we do 5 episodes that link to a lead magnet. So the call to action is to go to a lead magnet. The other 15 would link to those 5 videos. So it'd be, hey, if you've learned A, B, and C, you need to go watch this video next to learn X, Y, and Z. And then at that video, the call to action is the lead magnet. Now that you've seen the strategy of how you could teach yoga online, I want to help you further, and I've got a free gift for you. It's called my Influencer Almanac. Now what this is, it's an online resource that I've put together where I've put all my tips, all my tools, and all my strategies, especially stuff about YouTube and how to grow your influence online and then turn it into a profitable business. And then turn all that into lots of revenue for your business. Again, this is a free resource, and to access that right now, just go ahead and click that link below.